Hello, here is the news at this hour from Tstv. I am Olaide Amosu. Here are some major headlines. OYSIEC members' appointment confirmed. Oyo Assembly approves MAKINDE'S request to access 800 million naira loan. And on the foreign scene, Japan Prime Minister announces resignation. In the world of sports, football great RONALDINHO regains freedom. Now the news in details. The Oyo State House of Assembly has confirmed the appointment of members of Oyo State Independent Electoral Commission, OYSIEC. The members were screened and confirmed yesterday during the House plenary. Recall that the Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, had on Tuesday this week forwarded the list of the OYSIEC members to the Oyo State House of Assembly for screening and confirmation. The committee has Barrister Isiaka Olagunju as chairman, while Comrade Adeni Hafiz Babatunde, Alhaja Ganiat Saka, Mr. Olariwanju Emmanuel, Chief Kunle Agbola, Mr. Remi Ayoade, Mr. Sunday Falano, and Mr. Adeojo Elias as members. The Oyo State House of Assembly has granted the request of Governor Seyi Makinde to access 800 million naira loan facility for the Oyo State Rural Water Supply and Sanitation Agency, RUWASA. Its counterpart forward to attract the sum of 2,967,700,000 naira from the Federal Ministry of Water Resources. The plenary, presided over by the Speaker, Honorable Adebo Ogundoyin, gave approval yesterday following the request forwarded to the legislature by the governor. The fund is required to provide for the implementation of Partnership for Expanded Water Supply, Sanitation and Hygiene (PWASH) in 20 local government areas in the state. The governor in a letter said the project is aimed at improving water supply, sanitation and hygiene (WASH) situation in the urban small towns and rural areas in the state. The lawmakers, however, urged the House Committee on Water Resources to ensure that Oyo State Rural Water Supply and Sanitation Agency, RUWASA, for which the grant is sought, executes the project as specified in order to address scarcity of water in the selected local government areas. The federal government yesterday said testing for COVID-19 will now be done on site by leveraging the gene expert machines instead of relying on PCR molecular lab procedures, which takes longer time for diagnosis. It was reported that the gene expert machines have been deployed in the National Hospital, Abuja, University of Abuja Teaching Hospital, Gwagwalada, and also new state molecular laboratories are being optimized in Kebbi and Bayelsa states. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, however, said more still needs to be done in sample collection by states to determine the positivity rate in each state. The federal government yesterday announced September 5th as the date for the full resumption of international flights into the country. The Director General, Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, Captain Musa Nuhu, made the announcement during Thursday's briefing of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. Nuhu said the government was pushing ahead with the implementation of the principle of reciprocity against nationals of some countries that were imposing stringent travel conditions on Nigerian citizens on the basis of COVID-19 cases in the country. Moving on to the foreign scene, Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has announced that he'll resign over health problems, in a development that kicks off a leadership contest in the world's third largest economy. In a statement, he acknowledged that he has decided to step down from the post of the Prime Minister, saying he is suffering from a recurrence of the ulcerative colitis that ended his first term in office. The Prime Minister also said he was receiving a new treatment for the condition, which needed to be administered on a regular basis, which would not leave him with sufficient time to discharge his duties. It was reported that Abe is expected to stay in office until his ruling Liberal Democratic Party can choose a successor, in an election likely to take place among the party's lawmakers and members. 4 troops have been reportedly killed and 12 wounded yesterday in an ambush in central Mali, which the army blamed on jihadists. The attack took place between Kona and Duizenta near the town of Mopti. 4 soldiers were killed when their vehicle was hit by a bomb. Meanwhile, it is said to be the second time that the armed forces have suffered a loss on this scale since the military took over the country on August 18th. The army added that it also suffered major equipment losses in yesterday's attack. It said that it was unable to give any details about any enemy losses. Moving on to the world of sports, Ronaldinho has finally been set free from his house arrest by Paraguayan authorities for using a fake passport into the South American nation. The Barcelona legend and his brother, Roberto de Assis Moreira, was arrested at the airport in March and were imprisoned for a month before detaining them in a luxury hotel. It was reported that the 2002 World Cup winner was traveling to the country to promote a campaign for the less privileged children before he was apprehended. Meanwhile, according to the prosecutors, it is believed the Brazilian legend does not have any knowledge about using a fake passport, and the precautionary measure of arrest is being lifted equally. There are no more restrictions placed by Paraguayan justice. Napoli's record signing Victor Osimhen is said to be confident that racism will not be a problem for him in his new Italian club. The Pateniope signed Nigerian striker for over €70 million from Lille this summer and presented a new star at a press conference yesterday. The initial reports claimed Osimhen was hesitant, fearing the racism in Italy would, but the Nigerian said he was convinced after visiting Naples. However, the youngster eventually signed a lucrative deal with the Azzurri and claimed he is in Naples to do great things. With that, we've come to the end of the news. A recap of the headlines. OYSIEC members' appointment confirmed. The Oyo Assembly approves MAKINDE'S request to assess 800 million naira loan. On the foreign scene, Japan Prime Minister announces resignation. On world of sports, football great Ronaldinho regains freedom. Please do not forget to always adhere to COVID-19 safety measures. The news was compiled by Mobola Badikale. I am Olaide Amosi. Good day and thank you for watching.